Well, so it's been a really long time since I've opened up much. 3.5 years have passed since I made a declaration to the world that I was going to do something. So, 3 years have passed. I had so many dreams of changing the world, like I felt these downloads coming through every day about something we could do, all of us that are living on Earth as embodied spirits that see the entrapment of our reality and want to do something about it. So, I don't know, I'm just kind of like I feel lost. I felt lost in Seattle for a while. I've been I thought I was an artist and not a businessman. And now I got sucked into business again, thinking that if I succeeded as an entrepreneur, that would lay the groundwork to do all these things that the creator, the source energy was leading me to feel like I needed to have some hand in doing. But I've realized that there was a ton of ego in that. This sort of savior complex got into me. And, that along with a lot of cannabis, it was showing me these visions. And to this day, I know that God was really there in that. But that, hey crows. They're gaggling. Yeah, so I felt, I felt such a strong calling, every day my heart just beating for this cause, to be able to take the beautiful possibilities of off-the-grid life, of there's this sort of magnificent sense that came over me every day that felt like I couldn't waste a day toward helping God be real again, helping God thrive within the hearts and minds of people everywhere. I felt, all this world full of things is so, it has a spell cast over it, every one of us, every material, every product, everything. The tendrils of that dark being reach and wrap around every little nook and cranny of everything in this product-based reality, and I felt that sense every day so strong, and I felt that I had to fight it. I felt that I had to, because I knew it and because I saw it, like I was some unique person, right? That I had to do something about it. And I wound up just trying too hard. I wound up pushing myself to become a businessman so that I could make all this money, so that I thought if I created a way to capture holograms, because I'd see these future visions where the whole world was in these holographic glasses and the holograms were embedded in the world everywhere. So among many other things, I had hundreds of inventions come to me in those months that I made that video back in 2013. But I've really sunk into this blind pattern of just everything became about Prismic. Everything became about later Radness Labs, this cannabis business, and then this technology business. Really, the technology business was where listen to me. I lost that soul. My soul feels buried. I used to have the light just come through the sky in these moments of absolute knowing. And the articulation is not there anymore. I feel like I can't articulate this as well as I once could. My brain feels stuffy. And my parents, my family, my community has really confronted me on my addiction issues with cannabis. I was I couldn't call it an addiction for a long time, because to me it was like God was showing me so much in those spaces every time. Like I was seeing the sort of like Garden of Eden around us that I had ignored this whole time. Like the possibility for like graphene-based structures everywhere, this sort of like permaculture everywhere, like everything, being able to create high-rise trees with support around them, basically like just a brilliant world with hemp nanofiber everywhere, just this sort of renewable world. And anyway, I guess I'm making this as an update. I went through all my videos the other day. I mean, I have just thousands of hours of footage of me kind of talking, and I realized how much ego has been in me. Like, I realized how much this voice felt like it needed to be heard, and honestly, I've been kind of recluse. I've been keeping to myself mostly the last, this past few years. I haven't really been the Darrick that dresses up in like costumes and goes out into Seattle and tries to like create some sort of some sort of out of the norm experience. I think I was trying so hard to be, unique and unusual, and at the same time there was authenticity in it. There was an authentic like feeling of let's like rally all these people that are dormant inside, and let's like actually really like the inspired people of our generation like take this into our own hands. Meanwhile, I've watched Trump take the White House. Meanwhile, I've watched, I've sat there as years ago the part of the downloads were like create this voting system, this cell phone based voting system, which would enable people to basically have a feed where they can weigh in on every issue in real time and really control our government in a much more granular way. I was seeing many of these things, and yet I didn't speak up. I didn't put them together. I was trying to be this perfectionist to create this work of art, this like musical work of art, and it's all been in my head. I've seen the vision of this series of it, and in the end I got really attached to this artist mentality. So what I wanted to say is, I declare in this video that, oh my God, like I'm an artist, not a businessman. Well, I'm realizing I'm not an artist. I'm not even that. Like to prescribe a label is so limiting to your life, and I feel like I've been trapped in this I feel pretty beaten down by being like entrapped in my own sort of like vehement need to create this meaningful life. Like there was a lot of like to create an identity, be heard, be listened to, I would think I was seeking something. I was seeking to be recognized. And I think that's why it failed, I think that's why, I only put up really one video, and the rest has been, I'm sitting on so much material that I created in those times and never done anything with. So I know I need to at least put it out there, or I don't need to do anything. I'm sorry, I'm still, like you can see the psychology of this is still, the programming is still wrapped up in knots in my head. Anyway, still lots of questions and quandaries. And I know that love, God, infinity, the Creator, Allah, presence, Buddha, I know you're behind all things. I know that you're inside each person. I know that we fail to see you and recognize you, and we stay inside this blindness, like this blind... We suffer inside this constant cycle of replacing our things, getting new things, but there's some essence, some vital essence that feels like it's leaving people's eyes, like this soul, this life force energy, and replaced by this domination of products and cellular phones and screens, and soon holograms. We're gonna have all the distractions we ever need. anyway, something tells me that I need to keep fighting. I need to keep pushing to let that higher self come through. And there was some vision that was real, some sort of artistic vision, but it wasn't about art. It was about activism. It was about freedom. It was about change. It was about waking other people up and proposing real, new, fresh ideas. Meanwhile, I've seen some of these fresh ideas spoken by others, and at times I react with like this almost like weird, like excitement, but then also a little bit of like this feeling like all the inspiration of my life is passing me by and I haven't really put it out there. And yet I keep letting it happen. Some sort of like self-inflicted, some sort of misery has its place in my heart because I feel like I haven't really been doing anything. I feel like I haven't, like I was given so much by God, given so much by these angels that showed up every day to inspire me to download these ideas, and often I feel like I've failed them. I've just been sort of like in awe of the world, but not really putting that awe and that inspiration and these ideas into any kind of action. So I want to just say it, that I apologize to you beings who surround us and that we don't listen to. Like, I don't listen to. I have failed to listen to. And I feel like I've taken for granted my life in a lot of ways. I'm 33 years old now. And I've spent the last 3 years building a business in order to get the money to start this off-the-grid incubator, this mecca for my people, my generation that feels trapped in these idle ways, and we want to do something better, but there is no better option anywhere. And maybe there is a better option somewhere, but I need to get unattached from that feeling that I need to start it. I need to be a leader. I need, like, being a leader, this like addiction to seeing myself that way has been a stumbling block, and I'm really like prepared to give that up. Like, I want to give up this like attachment, and the attachment runs deep. My attachment to everything, to money, to a house, to comfort, to being some savior, to being some leader, to being something special, to being known by people, to having an easy, thriving life. Like, I have an attachment to these things, a desire for these things. God, I know you're still listening, even though I can't feel you so often. I feel like so much of my interpretation of the spiritual has gone numb. It's been dormant, I guess I should say. I feel like a big part of me is dormant. And, you know, I just pray that I can wake back up, and that we all can. Anyway, I just wanted to say that today. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've really addressed you, God. Since I've really addressed you, future self. Since I've really addressed you, future people. That I don't know yet, or I may know now. But for some reason, something's been drawing me for years to send these messages into the future, or maybe into the present, if I can summon my will to actually follow through on what. There's just this long search for willpower that has been seemingly impossible to ignite for so long. So anyway, I pray that it comes back. I pray that it comes back, and I look back on the way I was so long ago, all these videos I made, these things, and there was a lot of ego in it. There was a lot of trying really hard. And I look back and I'm just like, Darrick, wow. Like, you couldn't slow down and be humble. But that's just where I was, you know? Anyway, I'm ready to slow down. I have been humbled. I've been humbled upon humbled upon humbled. That's overconfident, flashy dude that was in me has been humbled again and again. And it kind of feels like maybe that, not maybe, that was a blessing. It is a blessing. And now I have no money. I won't have a house soon. I don't, my business has failed. But I never believed in business anyway. I always, my energy was never business and commerce, or commercification of the world is the one thing that holds it back from its true self. Anyway, I pray that God can smile upon my life again one time. I just miss God. I really miss God. I just haven't felt him, her, us, all of us. I haven't felt the resonance in so long. It's felt really like gray. It's felt really like almost an entire part of me has been just closed off. So I pray that it opens back up. Anyway, I send this prayer to you, to the future, the past. Send it back to me. Echo it back if you can. Just pray for me now. I believe in that we can. And I feel you right now. The sun shines right now, right then. Your love is powerful. Whoever all of you are, I don't need names. I feel your spirits. I feel your energy soaring, lifting, reaching, sending back warmth, hugs, resonance, rays of sunshine vibes. I still feel like my voice is caught. Like it's like, come back out. Be you. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to speak. Take the shackle off your mind. Take the shackle off your heart. Take the shackle off your throat. I'm saying this to myself, trying to listen to my own advice. Or maybe it's your advice entering my mind from the future. You. Okay, well, I guess I'll get back to it. I drove from my house because I was just like pent up in frustration. I feel so stagnant. I feel so stuck. And I know I'm not the only one that feels it right now. I feel like it's systemic right now with the way there's something wrapping its structure around us so we can't see. So it blinds us to our